Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung, a pro wrestling podcast. I am your host, KG. With me tonight is a wrestling veteran, a man you may know from WCW, Florida Championship Wrestling. He is also an author of the book, Looking Up at the Lights. I am talking about no other than Robbie Idol. What's going on, my friend?
Not much. How you doing, KG?
Cold, man. I'm cold.
Yeah. We're cold, but not as cold as you, I hope.
Oh man, we're in the negatives. We're in the negatives for a few days, and I'm over it. I can't wait till springtime. I'm done. 23 years of winters in Minnesota. No more. House going up for sale. Moving somewhere back south. Don't know where yet.
Okay.
We have a list of places that we've been talking about, but it's finally happening this year. Man, before we get into it, I want to talk about an exciting event happening, guys, here in a few months. FanFest 4. 2 huge days of action and excitement, May 8th through the 9th. You will meet legends, experience the energy, and be part of an unforgettable event. JBL is going to be there. Mickey James. Teddy Long's going to be there with Mac. I mean, there's so many legends that's going to be there, and they are continuously announcing more and more all the time. I can't wait. I was there last year. It was awesome. Barbara Goodish is going to be there. The original Sunny from Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, she's going to be there. Go to www.sicw.org. Again, sicw.org for all your information and where you can buy your tickets. It's what's great about this event is the event is actually at the hotel that you stay at, so you don't have to worry about driving anywhere. You get to the hotel, I think it's the Radisson. You check in, you're there. The events are downstairs. I'm telling you guys, it's awesome. It really is. You will be able to, meet all these wonderful legends and possibly befriend them. Again, Darla Sags, Barbara Goodish, and amongst just a couple of names of people that I met that I've become friends with, that I talk to on a regular basis. Again, I can't say enough great things about this. Of course, Mr. Herb Simmons, he's the one that puts this event on. He is the owner of SICW. This man has been around forever. If anybody is a somebody in professional wrestling from back in the day that are legends now, I assure you they've come across the path of Mr. Herb Simmons. So yeah, guys, again, sicw.org. Check it out. Buy your tickets now. I promise it's going to sell out. Also, another piece of news. Robbie Idol. First, how are you feeling?
A little sore.
So, of course, you guys, as I said at the beginning of this podcast, a veteran, because Robbie Idol is a professional wrestler. He's been wrestling for many years. Again, at WCW, but he's still wrestling. So he had an event this Saturday, man. Talk to me about it. How did everything go?
It went. I will give credit to Rocky and Angel. They had a great match. So they had a great match. They were the match before us, and our match was Robbie Cook, Pablo Marquez, and Chief Eddie Two Rivers versus myself, Richie Paradise, and Dave the Cuban Assassin, not the Canadian Assassin.
Did you mention that to him, by the way? Did you remember?
No, you know what? I forgot. There was so much going on. I forgot.
You know what? It's probably a good thing, because he may have whipped your ass even more if you would have mentioned.
Now, he was on my team, but
You would have turned on you, man.
He might have. I don't think he was happy what was happening after the finish.
I mean, look, I watched the video you sent me. I think it looked phenomenal. I got a kick out of. I mean, you weren't holding back. You was beating this man with a kendo stick like you would beat a stubborn mule. I mean, you were kicking his ass with that, man. I was like, holy shit.
Right. Well, that's where he got carried away in there. So everybody kind of had different thoughts on what was supposed to happen, but you will get a kick out of this one. So supposed to spear Chief Eddie Two Rivers. He got beat with a kendo stick. He said, hell with this, and he stayed outside the ring. It was Robbie and Joe that were inside, and I told Robbie, you're taking the spear. So when I threw Robbie off the ropes, and as he came, I launched myself at him. I don't know if I hit anybody that hard when I played high school football. And when I drove him into the mat, my head hit the mat. My head's still sore from where I hit it in the mat. And I kind of blacked out for about like 20 seconds. And when I came to it, took me a second to realize I was back in the ring there for a second.
Now, the big question is, how long is it going to be before you strap your boots back on and get into the ring?
We're going to go back in April. We're just not sure the date now. We were supposed to be April 11th. Mm-hmm. And now I guess something is conflicting with that date. So now they're going to change it, and we just haven't heard the date yet. So hopefully somewhere in April, and then that, I'll put the boots back on in April.
Now, let me ask you this. Because, I ask older guys who are considered veterans or legends now in business, I ask them, when is enough? When is it that you're going to say, I'm done? And I can never get a straight answer. So let me ask you, Robbie. I'm going to ask you in a different way.
Okay. Well,
let me ask you this question. But again, I'm going to ask you in a different way than I normally ask. When, in your experience, in your opinion, what does it take for a wrestler to say, okay, I'm done? Is there something that you hear that, a lot of the veterans say, my body's not healing the way it was, or something else happened? I mean, what is it that professional wrestlers look for their bodies to tell them enough's enough?
As far as body wise, I mean, God, it was done a long time ago. My body was telling me I'm done. Truthfully, if I get 2 more matches out of me, it's going to be 2 matches too much. Right. Truthfully, my experience, and I've watched this and I've watched the other, like the street fight with Robbie. Truthfully, I am running on fumes. Yeah. I am running on fumes. I just, the punches and everything look good. Legs are not there, but I had, how many people have gotten in with like 2 hip replacements, total hip replacements and stuff like that. I mean, I know some guys have done it. We're not the brightest bulbs in the box that have done it. Right. It just, I got no, legs aren't there. I'm not fluid anymore. So basically I'm limited what I'm going to, what I do. So like the next big match, it's supposed to be kind of like an elimination bunkhouse brawl teams. So it'd be my team against Robbie Cook's team. And we'll see how that goes from there. But yeah, I mean, I've watched the tapes, I've watched the videos. I know I'm done. Truthfully, like I said, running on fumes, and it's, 1 or 2 more matches, and it's, it's fun, but you just don't have it anymore.
Right. Well, fans, look, this is a reason why I need you guys to please share the podcast, like it, and subscribe. Please subscribe to this podcast. We have to get Robbie Idol out of the ring. And the way we're going to do this is by getting this podcast to grow in numbers, so I can start paying this guy so he doesn't have to get into the ring anymore. For the love of fuck, he's old, people.
That's right. The spear looked good, but you can see up till then you're going, wow, he ain't moving too fast.
Now, something else I want to talk about. Today, season 2 of WWE's Unreal came out. I think it's called Unreal.
I think so.
Yeah, it came out. And I tell you, fans, for those who have watched it, the first season, it's different. It's the same, but it's different. I feel like it's a lot more personal this season. And I want to talk about this actually season 5, and I'm not going to give the show away for those who haven't watched it, but there might be a couple of spoilers. You know, season 5, they were focusing on some matches, and one of the matches they were focusing on was the match at SummerSlam last year. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Vacara, I think's the last name. And here on this, and not just our podcast, but all the podcasts, we sit here and we critique these matches. Now, one difference between this podcast and a lot of other podcasts is I won't have anyone shitting on the talent. That's not that's a non-wrestler. And this episode reminded me exactly why I don't do it. These young men and women get into the ring and they put their heart into these matches. And it's easy for us to watch this match and to come on a podcast, and shit all over the performer, talking about, they sucked or they didn't do this, they didn't do that. On this particular match, there was a part of the match where Becky Lynch zip tied Lyra's hands behind her back. Well, Lyra's pretty tiny. The zip ties weren't that tight, and her hand came out. And instead of doing something else, she was caught on camera putting her hand back in. After the match, this young lady was embarrassed and just sobbing because she felt like she disappointed the fans. She disappointed the powers that be. She disappointed Becky Lynch. And man, it reminded me, it made me think, it's like, wow, these professional wrestlers, they get into the ring, they put everything into it, and then people will shit all over them, not knowing how much they're beating up on themselves already, right? Without having to listen to a bunch of boneheads who's never stepped in the ring ever before. And just to shit all over them. And this is why I will give my honest opinion about a match. I'll say I don't like it and why, but I never shit on the talent. And it's because of this. Robbie, whenever you were performing, or you still perform, are you've been doing this for a long time. Are you still really hard on yourself when you feel like you did not perform at the level that you wanted to perform at?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, even like now I'm like, where people are probably going, okay, why are you getting in the ring? Why? I know I don't have it anymore. It's done. Like I have, I'll be the first to admit it. I'm nowhere near when I had came back in from 98 to 201, even at 201 to now. So that's 24 years difference. Right. I'm older, I'm beat up, but it's fun. Your friends still get a kick out of seeing you in the ring. Yeah, you're still hard on yourself because you're like, wow, I can't do what I used to do. If you've been competitive, like played sports, competitive and stuff, it's hard to walk away from this stuff. Right. It's not about, I mean, the bigger stars, yes, I would imagine it's probably the cheer of the crowd and stuff like that because you're so well known. Here I'm well known, so I'm like, I'm a big star in a little pond, because a lot of people remember you and stuff like that. But back in the day, yeah, you're hard on yourself when you didn't do well, you didn't perform, or your match just sucked. And then to have people that have never stepped in the ring, that couldn't do that, to say, oh, you suck, this, that, it's like, why don't you get in here? Why don't you try to do this? Yeah, I mean, it's a one take thing. Even you can practice it all you want, but when you get in front of the crowd, it's a one take shot, you know.
Right.
And you there's high, if you do high risk moves and stuff, you know, you have a chance to just screw that up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I remember, well, like my last match that I had, that it was supposed to be my last match in 201. My tables, ladders, and chairs, and people went, "Did you practice that stuff?" I went, "No. If I'd have practiced, I wouldn't have done this." You know, so it was a one take shot. You know what you did.
Right. Yeah. So I really highly suggest watching season 2. It's better than season 1. I like season 1. Season 2, I think, is great. Uh, but you know, something else I did is I'm not a big EO Sky fan, right? But I tell you what, man, after watching this, there's just something about her, who she really is, that just kind of grabs onto you. That I found myself, kind of becoming a fan of her after watching this. It's a show like this. Look, when this show was announced that it was first coming on season 1, I was against it because I don't want to know the magic tricks behind stuff, right? But it's not that. It's really not. And it really, season 2 makes you appreciate some things that maybe you didn't. It makes you realize that here I am talking about, well, why are they doing this? When in fact, I'm the knucklehead that missed the story that they were trying to get across, right? So it's really eye-opening with a lot of stuff that they did. But the biggest thing I got out of it is, guys, look, it's okay to voice your opinion, to talk about what you like and what you don't like within professional wrestling, but you can do it without shitting on the talent, because these men and women are going out there, and more times than not, they're putting everything into this match so that fans get their money's worth. So I think as fans we should appreciate that a little bit more. So let's get into talking about while we're here. Monday Night Raw. They were live from the SSE Arena. It wasn't live. It was filmed because it was Belfast. I guess actually people in Belfast watched it live. Here in the States, I think it was filmed. Or do you know where they showing it? Was it on Netflix earlier live?
I thought it was supposed to come on at like 3, but
really?
yeah.
So that's the case. So in this household, it wasn't live because I missed that bulletin. I tell you, man, the crowd was on fire.
Yes. Yes.
And to me, it's amazing how much the crowd can dictate if a show feels like a big show versus a smaller show. Those fans last night made Raw feel like it was a big Raw. It really did. Opening segment, Gunther, he's in there talking. AJ Styles comes in, interrupts him. Basically, the big takeaway from that is Gunther said, I will give you AJ Styles that rematch because that's what this was all about. Gunther beat AJ Styles because he basically outsmarted AJ Styles last week. But this is the thing. Gunther says, only if you put up your career, though. If I beat you, you retire. Robbie, the one thing that was getting on my nerves about this was the color commentary. Once again, talking about how Gunther's the guy that retires professional wrestling. No, he's fucking not.
Right.
These matches, Goldberg, John Cena was going to be their last match regardless. He's not retiring anybody. Now, if AJ Styles accepts his challenge, we'll get to that later, and Gunther beats AJ Styles, now you will be able to officially say that Gunther retired somebody. But right now, you can't say that, Robbie. Talk to me about this, man.
Right. Well, I mean, is AJ ready to call it that quick though? I mean, I was kind of surprised that the match is coming up this, like it's
Right.
at Royal Rumble, so
Yeah.
it'd be in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I mean, Cole and Graves. I was gonna say, here's who we can shit on. And you know where I'm going because I see that look.
Yeah.
We can line them all up and knock them all down. All these announcers, all these guys, they suck. And more, it was like I'm thinking, who's worse? Is it Tony Schiavone, Michael Cole? You guys are neck and neck. Now, when you start throwing people with them like Corey Graves,
Right.
I'm not a Corey Graves fan, but when he's with Cole, he's a bigger idiot than he is when he's with somebody else.
Look, I'll be honest with you. The one guy I think that actually elevates Michael Cole is I like Pat McAfee. I really do. I don't know why. He reminds me in a very, very small way of Bobby the Brain Heenan, just because he's so fucking silly, right?
Okay.
And he says some goofy things. I like him better than a Corey Graves with Michael Cole. But I agree with you. I mean, some of the things they're saying, I'm like, why, guys? Like, what the
Right.
fuck? Yeah, Now, as I said, AJ Styles interrupts, goes in the ring, criticizes him, and then demands that rematch. No, on one hand, I want to say that I think that is going to be Gunther. That's going to be AJ Styles' final match, but not yet. But on the other hand, I don't know. I heard a fan say this, and makes you scratch your head a little bit and wonder, Their scenario is Gunther beats AJ Styles. AJ Styles has to retire from WWE, but he goes on for the rest of the year to be on TNA and officially retires himself from professional wrestling with TNA. The reason why I'm kind of like, possibility is because, again, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, that AJ Styles was a TNA guy. That's where you got to start from. Your thoughts on that, Robbie? Do you think that would make sense? And would that be something that your fans could be like, okay, we get it, and yeah, let's see him finish out with TNA?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, anything's possible. It makes sense too because he, like you said, he was, that's where he started was TNA.
Right.
That's where he got his stardom from and stuff. So it's possible that could happen.
Now, I know one big rumor floating around, and there has been no one to confirm this at all, but there's talks that at SummerSlam, it's going to be Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, with Brock Lesnar putting his career on the line.
Wow.
Yeah, which, look, I wouldn't hate it because I'm going to be at SummerSlam. I got, I'll be there for both nights. But man, I don't know. Imagine you think about some of Goldberg, some of Brock Lesnar's matches, man. Does it make sense to have a Gunther beat your longest reigning monster, if you will, with WWE?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, look at Lesnar's not really wrestling that much anyways. If he's getting ready to call it quits, I mean, it got a great contract, I mean, who knows what, unless he's just done and just said, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
Would make sense. I mean, out of everybody, and I don't know how it would work. I mean, Gunther's kind of that hard hitting guy.
Mm-hmm.
The other, I mean, now that you say that, but the kid that you kind of put in there with Lesnar, depending how, you think where I'm going, would be Obafemi. So, I mean, to see how he handles himself up on the main roster, and if he can, he pulls it off, which, I mean, he worked Cody Rhodes and they had a good match. So I'd almost put Obafemi in there with Brock instead of Gunther.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a match, the Beast of yesteryears versus the Beast of the future.
Right.
I mean, my God, that would just be, one hell of a match, and what a storyline. Brock Lesnar basically saying, yeah, you think you're the future. You think that you're the guy that's going to replace me. Well, buddy, you're going to have to retire me. And that's how you get there.
Yeah. And I mean, because that's what they're billing Obafemi as anyways. And that make more sense than Gunther.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think Obafemi's probably bigger, definitely built better than, Gunther. Nothing against Gunther, but, Obafemi is, built better. And that's how they have portrayed him, and that's how he's come off. So yeah. I would think he would match up better against Lesnar than Gunther.
The thing with Gunther is I can see them, having Gunther being built as the top technical wrestler, and this is why he's so hard to beat. But they're kind of trying to build him as a monster as well. And, I know he has height, right? I just don't look at Gunther as a monster, though.
No, because, I mean, it's going to sound probably bad, whatever, but like you see early pictures of Gunther, and he was just like this big, heavy set guy, where Obafemi, like, he played college football,
right?
His background and stuff. So he kind of, like I said, he matches up with Lesnar. They both have that athletic background and stuff where, Gunther didn't play football and stuff,
Well, shit, man, even a Braun Breaker.
Right.
Right. So next we go backstage segment. Adam Pearce with the Vision and Paul Heyman. GM Adam Pearce is shown with the Vision, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory backstage. Paul Heyman is present. You can feel the tension. Pearce instructs Heyman to have Braun Breaker available next week. And as well as Pearce lets him know that he's going to be out there for that tag team match. I am so curious where they're going with Adam Pearce. Are we going to see Adam Pearce versus a Paul Heyman? I mean, look, Adam Pearce was good back in the day.
Yes.
With Ring of Honor in the NWA. I almost think it would be almost an insult to have him feuding in a match with Paul Heyman. But I'm not the writers. So, yeah, and there's another segment that we're going to talk about with the same guys, and that's a lot more to talk about in there. Next, we go to the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree with Natty in the corner. Now, right before the match, Natty was backstage with Maxine Dupree, letting her know that she was going to be in her corner. Ultimately, you have Becky Lynch win because of Natty. Natty put Becky Lynch's foot on the rope. This is a ridiculous finish, which caused Natty to, caused Maxine Dupree, why, Natty, why? To turn around and walk into Becky Lynch, giving her her finisher, her man slammer, or the fuck. Yeah. Was this match as bad as the other ones? No. But the good news is I am so glad the feud with Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch is over. The bad news is we're starting one with Maxine Dupree and Natty.
But you could tell something was up with Natty when they,
oh yeah,
you knew, okay, you kind of went, she's gonna screw her somehow. She's gonna do something's gonna happen. So you knew something was coming, and when she did it, they went, there it is. And the match wasn't bad. I mean, there was probably just a couple missed spots, or where it got a little bit. They missed something.
Right. Now, real quick, Robbie, whenever I say things like the match wasn't good, I'm not necessarily talking about the technical aspect of the match or even the wrestling. I'm more talking about was it good for me, just because, in my opinion, they shit on the pot with the storyline between these two, and they made it where I just had no interest at all whatsoever in the match or the outcome.
Right, and I know that. But I mean, where Maxine at least looked better, which made, I guess maybe because they had Natty out there or whatever, like she was going after the ankle, which she should have did the last time that she wrestled Becky. They should have did that the last time too. I just am I looking forward to this Maxine Natty feud? Truthfully, no. Mm-hmm. I think, but what it is Natty has been in the out of the picture for so long that you wonder if she went to them and said, "Hey, I want to be back on TV. Let's do this."
Now, one thing I am looking forward to, I want to see this feud get done with. But I'm looking forward to see what Natalya is going to do with Natty, because the Natty character, I heard her talk about it. I can't remember which wrestling program, but she talked about how Natty is more vicious. She's this badass heel, basically, right? That wants to hurt people. So I'm curious to see what she does with this character. I'm curious to see, okay, is it really going to be that much different from the Natalya character? Because look, I've seen her in a couple of wrestling matches as Natty. She was more aggressive. I liked what I seen, but wasn't anything long term. So I want to see it long term to see how it pans out for her. I really do. Now, to me, the big question was where they're going with this. Do you foresee Natty, who's been there for a while, and she's not old as a human being, but as far as professional wrestling goes, she's up there in age, right? Do you think that they're going to put belts on her, or do you think they're just going to keep on using her as they've been using her to make the younger talent look stronger?
I guess from what I understand, she's, like well liked in the locker room and, works with the talent and stuff. Maybe they're just saying, okay, let's just use her to, help the talent, the younger people out, stuff like that, and try to, but you could also see if she's doing that, maybe them throwing a belt on her, to, just say, hey, let's do a run with you for the reward for working with this younger talent and helping them out.
Right. Now, after the match, we've seen Natty, who had already betrayed Dupree, Maxine Dupree, attack her, put her in the sharpshooter. We'll see what's going to happen next. I want to go back to Unreal for a second.
Okay.
In one of the episodes, they were really covering Chelsea Green.
Okay.
And I heard oh shit, what's his name? You used to go by Brother Love.
Oh God. Brother Love.
God damn it, let's just podcast all the time. Something else. Bruce Pritchard.
I was gonna say Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah. Bruce Pritchard, pretty much these exact words, says that Green will never be in the same category as your Flairs or your Tiffany Stratton or your what's the other one? She was Charlotte Flair's partner.
Bliss.
Alexa Bliss. That basically Chelsea Green's talent is she makes the younger talent look great. If you were Chelsea Green and you heard something like that, because you're a professional wrestler, oh, fuck it. You don't even have to be Chelsea Green.
Right.
You're wrestling, you hear a guy in the position of Bruce Pritchard say that about you. What do you think, man? Would you think, fuck? So basically, they're saying the women or the men's IC title is my ceiling. That's all I'll ever do with this company. Would you leave? Would you resign, or would you leave to go to another company where you could kind of bust through that ceiling?
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to. I mean, because especially like a Bruce Pritchard, who you first of all, him saying that, who the fuck are you? You know, I mean, you were nothing. You never stepped in the ring. You didn't wrestle. You know, you were a manager. So to say they don't have, oh, you're not this or you're not that, it doesn't make sense because to me, I think they've kind of held her back anyways. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you see matches with her on the indies. You saw with Lucha Underground and stuff. She's a great worker. I mean, I saw like matches with her and Britt Baker. They were great matches. She's a hell of a worker. I think there's so many people there that, yes, you're okay. So your Flair's, I think she could be as good as Flair, Tiffany, and the others. Maybe not because she doesn't do the moonsaults and stuff like that, but she's a hell of a worker. I mean, yeah, if you heard that personally when contract come up, you'd have to kind of feel out. But I mean, once again, now you've got a ton of other things. Could I go to AEW and now be one of the you break that ceiling and become somebody over there? Because I think at least they would give you the opportunity, even in another organization like AEW or, NWA or whatever, look, they let Shotzi go. They let Gigi Dolan go. Granted, it might be on the indies, but they're killing it out there.
Right. Now, on the flip side of that, Triple H did say that you give someone like a Chelsea Green 30 seconds on camera, she'll do more than 30 seconds than what a lot of people will do the entire show. So it's kind of all those things, who has more of a hand on her developmental, I guess, Pritchard or Triple A.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how big Pritchard is back there. I mean, sometimes you wonder why some of those guys are there. Right. I mean, truthfully, because what did he do? Okay, he was Brother Love. Big deal, but you were never in the ring. You had no talent to showcase in the ring.
Right.
You might have been a mouthpiece, but
Yeah. Next, we go to an in-ring segment with Jey Uso. He appears in the ring and officially declares himself an entrant in the men's Royal Rumble. You know what I always found funny about the Royal Rumble is some people, they will make them go through qualifying matches to be in it. And other people, you can say, fuck it, I'm in it anyway. I think that there should just be matches, period. I don't care if you are Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, doesn't matter. Obviously, you're going to have these people in this match or your bigger stars, but at least put them in matches to make them earn it and sell them, they've been able to, I'm in it. Or, Robbie, is it one of those things that, no, fuck that, Calvin, they've been in there long enough, they should be able to decide if they want to be in it or not.
No, I mean, here, I'm going to say this because I'm not an Uso fan. Okay. When we talked about it on other podcasts, nepotism.
Yep.
How did the nepotism work? Him and his brother, they were there. They were relevant or kind of irrelevant. All of a sudden, now you put them in a storyline with Roman Reigns, and now all of a sudden, that has rise them to the top. Same like Sami Zayn. They were just there,
Right.
and yes, good, but not to the level where all of a sudden now you're fan favorites. And
Right.
all that has helped. That has helped them. Before they were there. People took them or left them, and they didn't care. And now, you put them in this storyline with Roman Reigns for how many years he had his title and everything, and now all of a sudden now they're larger than life.
But even if it wasn't your Usos, say yourself Rollins or your Brian Breakers, I mean, isn't WWE missing a huge opportunity here to utilize people to get television time that you just don't see hardly on TV by saying we're going to have a tournament to determine, who's going to be in the Royal Rumble?
Oh, definitely. And I mean, look at what AEW has done.
Right.
Okay, so you take that tournament for whatever belt it was, their Intercontinental Champion, whatever. But you did that. Okay, here's a tournament to qualify for Royal Rumble. Now you could start, you're obviously bringing people from your mix matching them from SmackDown, from NXT. You're grabbing guys from TNA. Do it instead of these stupid long ass promos. Now you can do a 5-10 minute match and make them qualify for one of these.
Now, here's the problem, though. Because of the number of people that are in the Royal Rumble, do you have enough time to run a tournament like that? And do we actually have enough talent in the back to run these tournaments, to run a Royal Rumble tournament to decide if you're in it? Because how many people in the Royal Rumble? Is it 30?
I think it's 30. But yes, you have enough, because here's what you do. And they've done it in all the other stuff. Whatever you set up, however, with it, guys that have lost, hey, here's your second chance to get a shot at the Royal Rumble. So there you go. So you get a second chance. You've got enough people that you could send guys from a second chance.
Right. Well, yeah, especially when you use it NXT guys. But here's the problem with that, and this is why I brought this up. Just talking about this shit interests me. Royal Rumble is known for what? Surprises, right? So when you kind of shoot yourself in the foot by having a tournament to decide if you going to qualify to be into the Royal Rumble, now how are you going to explain the surprises?
Well, why couldn't you have so you got 30 people. Why couldn't you do a tournament to have 15 qualify? And you have then 15, you're going to have guys claiming to be in. So now here's your surprise, because he claimed himself, but the crowd didn't know, or fans didn't know. So there's how you get your surprises. I mean, at least you could have some qualifying matches, where, okay, let's say you're Leon Slater from, him. I'm proclaiming myself. Well, you're new. How can you do that? So why wouldn't you have a match for him to at least win to say he qualified?
Right. Yeah. I'm just always thinking about, we see the same people on Raw, SmackDown over and over. I'm always just thinking, what could WWE do to feature the talent that we never see that's stuck in catering? That's one of the ways. But like I said, I'm sure that there will be difficulties because of the number of the people that are in the Royal Rumble, plus the surprises. Whatever, just conversation. Next, we go to Michelle Bailey Valkyra backstage segment, a backstage interview reported by Results. I don't know why I had that. Bailey and Lyra declares Royal Rumble intentions. I am over both of these women, man. I am. I see them on my screen and I yawn. They just they're great in the ring. I blame it on booking. I blame it on creative. What are they doing with these two?
Yeah, I mean, definitely you got to figure out what you're going to do with Bailey. So maybe pull her from TV, and repackage her.
Right. Right.
Do something. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, when they brought her like Damage Control, that with her, EO, and Dakota Kai and Kyrie, that was that was a big surprise at the Royal Rumble, and that was pretty cool. I mean, at the time, I wasn't a Bailey fan, but seeing her come out with all of them, because I'm a Dakota fan and a Neo Sky fan, so when they all came out as Damage Control, I thought that was really cool.
Right. Yeah, now Dakota's not even with WWE anymore.
No.
Next, we go to the women's tag team, which is the worst fucking name for the tag team. Rio. They're talking about the women's tag team division and their Royal Rumble intentions. They're interrupted by Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Then Raquel Rodriguez attacks Ripley Sky, signaling a build towards their upcoming tag defense. I think that we're going to see Roxanne and Liv get the tag titles, but not yet. I think it's way too early.
Yeah, totally agree. I don't think they're going to drop them at main event. And they just keep pushing Raquel. And I really can't see them putting the belt on her either, though.
No.
I mean, I've seen rumors on social media that they're supposed to give her some kind of big title run, but I have a feeling if you put the belt on her, I mean, because the fans really don't care about her.
Putting the belt on her, I think you would have the same reaction as putting the belt on Nia Jax.
Right.
People don't care.
Yeah.
At all. Next we go to a 6-man tag team match. Rey Mysterio, Penta, Dragon Lee versus The Vision, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory. Rey Mysterio and Penta and Dragon, they win. Logan Paul tries to use brass knuckles. Adam Pearce intervenes. Rey eventually uses them to knock out Theory, allowing Penta to hit the finish. This, in my opinion, was the best match of the night. Not a bad match. It was action-packed. It was fast-moving. I didn't have a problem with it. What about you?
No, I liked it. It was good, and the finish was good.
Right.
So, I mean, you had Pierce get involved. You had, so it was, a good match, everything. And, like you said, fast-paced, everything. And the ending was cool, just different. So, right. Like saying, okay, how these guys go, okay, these guys, the Vision, they're going to win, whatever. You got swerved,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next, another backstage segment. Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce. Paul Heyman catches up with Adam Pearce in backstage hallway after the tag team match. Heyman threatens Pearce as suggests Pearce needs to take a phone call. Pearce answers his phone on camera, ending the segment with Pearce visibly concerned. They were teasing. Man, who do you think was on the other line?
I don't know. The way Heyman was, did he, go over, over Adam Pearce's head to whatever, to the top, right, to the top brass or whatever. But and here's the bottom line, and probably in real life, you could see Paul Heyman would probably sell out his own mother.
The problem I have with this is, I like the storyline, but there's little things that they do that it doesn't add to it. Like, I can give a rat's ass about this. I don't care who's on her phone.
Right.
Unless, something big happens next week, then I'm like, oh, okay, well, this was important. But as of right now, I don't see it being anything that really heightens the storyline. We stayed backstage with AJ Styles and Adam Pearce. AJ Styles informs Adam that he accepts Gunther's career on the line challenge for the Royal Rumble match. This is gonna be a good match. I'll give WWE Creative credit. I don't know. Like, this isn't predictable for me. I don't know which direction they're going to go in. All we know is that AJ Styles will be retiring this year. But fuck, is it already? Or nope, not just yet. And this is the question though, Robbie. If AJ Styles actually beats Gunther, will this hurt the way they've been booking Gunther as the guy who retires wrestlers?
I don't think it'll hurt him. Because I'm with you. It's hard to say because I'm thinking when I heard it and then booking it, like AJ going this soon already,
Right.
But then now that like what the fan said, hey, he gets beat, he goes to TNA, finishes out the rest of the year there. Who knows? I mean, he's got kids and stuff. How old his kids are, I don't know. Right. Maybe he's just like, okay, you know what? I've been doing this for a long time. My body's had it. I want to spend time with my kids, kids in high school, whatever.
Right.
I want to see them play sports. There is so many factors on it, it's hard to say. Would they have Gunther beat him? I don't know. I mean, I'm like you. I'm surprised if Gunther beats him, that AJ wants to go, he's going out this soon.
Yeah. Next we go to El Grande Americano versus Javon Evans. During the commercial, Javon Evans suffered an apparent injury. The match was stopped. Man, this does not look good for Javon Evans. He just got in the main roster and he's hurt already.
Yeah, you wonder if he really did sustain an injury, or is that the way they wanted that to end?
The reason why I don't think that this is a work is because they just did this with Seth Rollins with this knee injury, and the storyline that Javon has with El Grande Americano isn't this major storyline that they would want to keep him off of TV for an extended amount of time. Now, how bad the injury is, I don't know. He could have just sprained I think it was a shoulder injury. He may be back on next Monday. I don't know. But I know that if he's off of TV, if the injury is that bad, he's not starting his career off of the main roster that great.
No, not at all. No.
Backstage interview, Jackie Redmond with Finn Balor. Finn's basically saying, you're in my hometown, buddy. You're fighting me on my own turf. Next, we go to the main event, CM Punk versus Finn Balor. And let me tell you, CM Punk was getting booed. Finn was their boy. CM Punk retains the title, but here's the thing, man. And this is where they had Finn Balor very much a babyface last night. Now, I understand that he was in his hometown, right? They hugged after the match. So, are we, the fans, next week are supposed to just forget that Finn Balor was this babyface and he goes right back to being the heel? The match was great. I love the match. And I take it back when I said that tag team was the match of the night. I don't know what I was thinking. This was the match of the night.
Right.
The match was great. The booking of the match by having him be a babyface was terrible, in my opinion. Why? Unless he's just going to be a babyface now. But what a weird way to turn somebody. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing, no drama. Right. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on it, Robbie?
Yeah, the match was great. My problem was the very ending, like with CM Punk and that. Granted, I know he was in his hometown, and yes, they were cheering him and everything. I hate like that stuff, the hugging and all that. Do that shit backstage. I mean, but we'll go back to it figures WWE exposing like with Unreal and stuff, and I mean it's cool, but you're already promoting shows to do that. You don't need to do that and do it on TV. I don't like when AEW does that, or it just, you want to do that. Yes, you had a great match. Say that stuff for the back. You go back in there. I mean, I'm not a Paul Heyman fan, not a Paul Heyman guy, but like you see the interview, like when they talk to him and he goes, I hate this show because of the way I was brought into the business. I was brought into the business the same to keep it, to hide that stuff. Just, I mean, to think of like even on the indie circuit, like the big battles I had with Rick Ryder, like those big battles. What would they have thought afterwards? Like, where you have done promos on radio stations and stuff, you were in gyms, where you both worked out and you got separated, where we would make people to believe that we hated each other.
Right.
And then to see us at the end of that match hug or whatever, I mean.
Well, I don't know what WWE deal is. We just seen this. I don't remember whose opponent was, but we seen Gunther in his hometown fighting for the title. Oh God, who is he facing? Where they hugged after the match, and I'm like, what is the deal with this? When these guys supposed to be heels? Look, you remember the days of Chris Jericho, Edge, Christian when they were with WWE? They're in Canada. They get a big pop when they come out, and what do? Talk about how glad they are that they're out the garbage town of the
right.
They even though that's cheap heat, they get the cheap heat because they want to be booed. They don't want that pop. It seems like now if you're a heel, if you're going in your hometown, WWE's like, just forget that you're a fucking heel and go ahead and be the baby face. But next week we'll go back to you being a heel.
Right.
That doesn't make sense to me.
No, not at all. I mean, it's just totally different,
Right.
It's just totally different. It goes against everything you were brought up on to watch, taught if you were in the business. Right. It's just totally, it has changed.
Yep.
And I mean, I agree. It's crazy. I mean, so what's funny is, like you got your, what you call basement dwellers that live with mom and dad still. Now, now they think they know everything, how the business is stuff. Oh, well, but then when it comes time with Cody versus Drew, oh, well, Drew beat Cody. Well, he can't beat Drew. Cody can't lose to Drew. Right. They just exposed the business to you,
Yeah, that's true. Overall, I'd give this show a B-.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it had its pluses in it. Some of the stuff, but you missed. And not to, it probably isn't a big segment or anything, but you kind of wonder because the Asuka Kyrie thing.
Oh yeah, Asuka Kyrie. Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't like it's a big deal,
right?
But you wonder how. If it's are you going to kind of split them up? Because the way it was like, and Kyrie going, oh, I'll do everything to help make sure you win the Royal Rumble. And you wonder if Asuka loses, is there going to be something that they split them up? And it's just, just a throw out there.
I hope they don't, because they already don't have a fucking women's division as far as tag team. They don't need to be splitting anybody up. Again, they still need to be building homegrown
Right.
tag teams for both the men and the women's division, to be honest with you. So yeah, I don't know, man. Now this coming Saturday night, I think it's this coming Saturday night's main event. I'm going to be honest with you. There's not one thing that's being advertised for this show that has me interested at all. Not one. I mean, is this a show that they have you excited about?
No, but there is, and I'm not a Cody Rhodes fan, but I do want to see how Obafemi does again, because
Right.
they're doing the Obafemi Cody Rhodes. So I am kind of curious to see how that match pans out and see what they do with Obafemi.
For some reason, I just have this feeling that there's going to be some fuckery, and that it's going to be a double disqualification or something again. Or are we going to see Fatu get involved?
Oh, that it's Fatu and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, it's Fatu, Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's who it is.
Yep. I really don't know where. I tell you this much. I don't see WWE pinning Fatu this soon after he's come back after being gone for so long. And I'm still confused about something. Who the fuck injured Fatu?
Right.
Was it Drew McIntyre? Is that why he attacked? Or was it Cody? It makes no sense, at least as of right now,
Right.
why Fatu attacked both of them. I'm still curious about that. Now, hopefully Friday night we'll get a couple more answers on SmackDown.
Right. Well, you wonder now that you brought that up, and I screwed the people up in the ring. You wonder if Omofemi's going to come in there now with Fatu and Cody Rhodes.
What would be the motivation, though?
Yeah, I guess,
If anything, well, no, see, even now, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. Drew has no reason to be in there.
And I hope they don't give him a reason. I don't want to see Drew and Cody touch each other.
No, but Fatu and Drew are going to have a feud, because you saw Drew running from from Fatu.
Right, but this thing with Cody and Drew is not going to be over with, because Drew McIntyre has the title.
Right now,
Cody goddamn well they put it back on Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes may be the guy to go on to beat John Cena's freaking 17 unseen. Shit.
Well, who's close though is Randy Orton.
He is, but Randy hasn't really been on TV.
No.
I think Randy's done. I think he's just going to be a part-timer, and good for him. But I don't see him in WWE very much longer. I really don't. But yeah, even with the match of Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, there's nothing in me that makes me want to watch Saturday night's main event. Just, I'm looking forward to the Royal Rumble. It's hard to believe that we're here already. We're knocking on the door of being on the road to WrestleMania.
Right.
Who do you think, and we'll end it with this, who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble?
Depends on you. We haven't seen all the people that are coming in yet. I'm I'll throw a couple people out there. I'm gonna throw a surprise for you. I can see him pushing Obafemi. I could see that. I could see if he enters Jacob Fatu. I'm not sure who else
Well, I'll tell you what.
But here another. You could do if you're talking surprises, because we have seen them. Maybe you see Roman Reigns come out.
Well, I want to check something out before I say something.
Okay.
So this is the thing. For months, there's been rumors and speculations about Chris Jericho. Okay. And I'm like, it's just rumors because he was still under contract. Chris Jericho has not re-signed with AEW. His contract ended December 2025. Now, because that contract ended, right, that means that there's no 90-day clause in there where he can't compete for 90 days. He can fucking walk into whatever promotion he wants to tomorrow and wrestle. I think we see Jericho enter the Royal Rumble as a surprise, and I think he wins it. I think that your other bigger guys that you would have thought would win it, your Fatus or your Brian Breakers, guys like that, your Cody Rhodes. I think that's going to be determined at Elimination Chamber. But I think that Chris Jericho is going to surprise us and he's going to win the Royal Rumble. Because I think he wants one more WrestleMania moment. I think that so if he won it, oh, dude, absolutely. Fuck it. We're going to have WrestleMania, one of the main events. I'm predicting right now, I'm calling it, guys, CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jericho won it one more time. So, what's your thoughts?
The only, and I mean, my part on Jericho, I mean, I can see it. I just don't think he looked good his last few months in AEW. That's my personal opinion.
You should see him now.
So, but I mean, he just didn't look, maybe he didn't look like he wanted to be there anymore in AEW or whatever. It was like, okay, time's up. I'm ready to go.
So Jericho has dropped a lot more weight. And he looks like the Chris Jericho. Oh, let's see something if I can put a picture. I don't know if you can see this or not, but
yes, okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. So physically, he looks good. He's dropped a lot of weight. Now, can he go physically as well? Can his body last in the ring? I bet he could. I really do. We'll see. I mean, again, that I'm not part of any creative team. That's just me speculating. I love talking the what ifs or the what abouts with professional wrestling. It's fun,
right?
To talk about. But you can put down that prediction right now. Royal Rumble is what, 2 weeks from Saturday?
Yes.
Is it? So yeah, we'll see. Is there anyone that you would like to see at the Royal Rumble?
Well, two people. One we definitely know isn't going to be there. I would say my big
Chris,
surprise would be MJF.
oh,
But, but he's not going to be there. The other guy, if he could just stay healthy, would be Seth Rollins.
yeah. MJF, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to see MJF go to WWE anytime soon.
Right.
Because I think WWE will destroy his career. I do. I don't think it would. I don't think they would do it purposely, but I think that they would WWE-nize him. They would PG him. A PG WWE-nized MJF is not an MJF.
No.
I think MJF has found his success where he needs to stay at for now until WWE is at least PG-13, man. Because I'm telling you, look, I'm not saying that someone has to be vulgar or explicit to be successful. But when you've built that character on being that already, it's hard to find success not being that.
No, totally agree. Totally agree. And they definitely would, like you said, not on purpose, but yes, it wouldn't be the MJF we all know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that your boy that just left AEW that's going to WWE or Hobbs, right?
Right.
I think that, I know Michael, our other coach, was saying that that's everyone. It's not about the money. It's about just saying that you were with WWE, right? I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it was about money. I don't know if it was about being able to put WWE on your resume. But look, being with WWE and giving up your career, that the push that you're already having with another company, is that really a good idea? Because I just don't think that WWE is going to push this guy. Maybe a little bit NXT, but look, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think he's going to make it to the main roster. I don't think that Ricky Saints is going to make it to the main roster. I don't. I think that they'll be cut before they make it. That's just my opinion, but.
Yeah, I'm just not a Ricky Saints starts. I just never was a fan. I think he's a Rock wannabe. That's my personal opinion.
No, yeah. I can see that. But he was over in AEW, though.
Yes. Oh, definitely he was over. And why they stopped using him is, beyond why, because he was over big time, and why they stopped using him.
From what I understand, and again, I don't know the man, but just from everything that I've read, his attitude, from what I understand, I think he got too big. I think his head got too big.
Really?
But again, that could be rumors. I don't know. I just know that if he got cut by WWE before even making it to the main roster, I know a lot of people would be shocked. I'm not one of those people.
No.
And it's the same thing for Hobbs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think if he makes it to the main roster, I don't foresee him staying. He's had success in NXT, and the guy, because when they signed him and they signed, the two names from AEW, they weren't even over in AEW, was Shawn Spears and Ethan Page.
Right.
So Page has found success in NXT. I don't know that he'd find it on the main roster.
Right. But
they were basically, both of them were just like irrelevant. No, nobody cared that they were there in AEW. And I still think nobody cares about, Spears, but Page has made a name for himself at NXT.
Right. Who was the bigger guy? I'm having problems remembering his name. That was with the Don Callis family. He was a tag team partner from the what is his name? The Mohawk guy, killer, really big guy, muscular guy. Murder Hawk. He was tag teams with Murder Hawk.
Brian Cage.
So I heard that I want to verify something about Brian Cage. No, that's not true. So there was rumors going around that Brian Cage was leaving professional wrestling, retiring, but that's not true. He's not. But that's another guy, man. That
right.
What is AEW like? He's out injured right now, but even when he wasn't, they're not using big guys the way they should be.
No, and he was for as big as he was, he reminded you of a Mike Awesome.
Yeah.
Because he could jump over the ropes. The dude was a solid 285 jacked.
Right.
And to see what he could do, but even like, you wonder if he hurt his career in TNA when he lost to Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah.
You wonder if that kind of hurt his career right there.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know one could argue that, you're Jeff Jarrett when he lost against China, right? And look, Tessa Blanchard's, in my top 2 or 3.
Definitely.
But there's a difference between a Jeff Jarrett being beat by a China and not hurting Jeff Jarrett's career versus Brian Cage, as big as he is, losing to someone even that's in the top 2 or 3 female wrestlers just because of, look at the size, man.
Right. I mean, to me, I think Tessa Blanchard's, out of all the women, she's number 1. That's
right.
I have her rated number 1. Technical way she can talk on the mic, everything. I have her rated over Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
And I think Charlotte Flair is like one of the, you're definitely top 1, 2, Still same thing. And that big push that Tessa got in TNA. I mean, even I wonder, did it hurt Cage? I mean, the other guy that she beat, the Sami Callihan, you knew he was never going to WWF or anything like that. So I don't think it hurt his career at all,
Right. I agree. Talking about Charlotte Flair, talking about Tessa Blanchard, man, look, I don't think you could book a better match in professional wrestling right now, maybe ever, when it comes to women, than having Tessa Blanchard versus Charlotte Flair. That is a WrestleMania match. The storyline writes itself because of the history of the family. The wrestling, because of just how damn good both of them are. I mean, my God, man, that would be the match that I don't care where they put it on the card. That match would steal the show.
Yes,
in my opinion, 100%.
I definitely agree with you. Agree with you.
Yep, brother, I can talk wrestling all night with you, but I'm sure my wife is looking like, son of a bitch. She needs to, been over an hour. I will be back tomorrow. I'm at 6 p.m. Central. I am going to be interviewing a gentleman by the name of Brandon Burnett. Really good guy on the indie scene. And then on January 26th, Robbie and I will be here interviewing with professional wrestling legend, and yes, I'm calling him a legend, Rick Ryder. On February 9th, Candy Crush from WoW. She is part of a faction called Top Tier, who just won actually the triples title. On the 23rd, Mike Kinney Great guy in the indie scene. He's going to be on, and I'm going to be booking more as the month comes on. And matter of fact, on the just as we were on air, on Monday, February 2nd at 6 p.m. Central, Mr. Herb Simmons is going to be on. And we're going to be talking about what it takes to have Fan Fest, what it takes to create the Cauliflower Alley Club's reunion shows in Vegas. Plus, we'll be talking about SICW and what's happening there in St. Louis. Great guy. Can't wait to have all these people on. I'm looking forward to that. Robbie, anything happening between now and Thursday when I see you?
Nothing that I can tell. I mean, I don't think people care about my work life or my social life. So, yeah.
Well, guys, Thursday night, I do want you to care because myself, Robbie, and the Grizzled Vet, we're going to be discussing AEW Dynamite. Did we love it? Did we hate it? Was it just okay? I don't know. Tune in. Chat with us by comments. Tell us what you think. Until then, you guys have a great night. Good night, Robbie.
Good night.